Quilts are flying, colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Hello, everybody. We are here. I'm Steven. This is Aloysius Mudslinger. No, I'm Aloysius Mudslinger. You're glad ass. Happy born. Yeah. Yes, and everything's going off on my computers right now to let us know what time it is. I mean, what did we do before we had computers to do all that? And I
I
hear
don't
that
know,
we're
we were
coming up,
bored.
so I guess.
We weren't on this YouTube thing.
Yeah. Well, we are now. So let's see. There's lots of people coming in. Oh, I see Nightbot's decided to start itself, which means that I'll bet you Nightbot's going to come up and tell everybody there's a pop-up sew day when there really isn't. So let's just get that fixed up. And here. I don't know why it comes on automatically. I thought I had it turned on all the time, but I guess it didn't. Yeah, we don't want that. Okay. That's good. Okay, I think we are ready. So who's here? Well, let's see. Top of the screen, first one in, Barb. And I don't see Russ yet. So Russ may still be on his way back from QuiltCon, because QuiltCon was this weekend and I know he was going. So that's probably he's on the road back home, maybe. So Barb is here. Inez is here. She says it's very stormy Sunday here. Like light have been gone. I guess lights out, roads closed, so guess I'm here in the house till June. Yeah, on the rock with that one. Because Inez, for those of you who don't know, she lives in Newfoundland. Faith is here. Faith says it's snowy western PA. Again, beware eastern coast of US and nor'easter's about to start. We had some snow today, but it's not a lot.
Yeah, well, it's been lightly snowing all day, and my weather app says it's not supposed to snow, and then every hour it comes up that it's going to snow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just very lightly. I did go out and shovel, and
it's melting.
It was very moist.
It's 0 right now.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, yeah, the winter's not over.
It's nice out, actually.
Oh, well, we can get out
Actually, and I
shorts
think
and
the sun's
sandals.
beginning to shine.
Oh, well, there's something late in the day. Nina is here, and Julie is here as well. Pace is here. Dubrovka says they are both there, Dubrovka and Al. Jen is here. Finally managed to catch another live. It's 5 a.m. here in Perth, so normally sleeping. Yes, you would be. I have to admire your dedication. Hope it's worth it. Joanna is here, and Mona as well, and Kim from the East Coast is here. Charlotte's here. Karen here is here as well. Cynthia's made it. It's snowing in Long Island, New York. All schools closed tomorrow. Well,
Hooray!
Hooray, yeah. I used to love snow days. Never got them much because teachers always had to go in no matter what, pretty much, in our area. Caroline is here. And Pauline Dunn is here. Morning, Stephen. Well, the first time I've managed to join a live with you. Monday morning here in New Zealand. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we have been to New Zealand as well. So love it. Well, nice of you to be here, Pauline, and welcome. Joanna says first time catching a live from the beginning. There are a lot of first timers here for things like that. Rachel is here. Sue Norfleet is here. Adam's here. Boo, he says. Adam, wrong time of the year. I don't know. Suzanne is here. And Debbie is here. She made a live. Good for you, Debbie. That's nice that you could make a live. Gloria is here. Shadowwind, who is Alice, is here as well. And Sweet Granny from snowy western PA is here. Pam from Minnesota is here. Scott is here. That wicked storm that hit northern Saskatchewan is behind us. Okay, that's good to know. And the schools where I work do not close. Yeah, the schools where I work too, because it was sort of considered in the city school, they didn't really close either. If the school buses couldn't run, though, which was usually it, because some of the kids had to be bussed in, so those kids would stay home. And of course, the town kids, the kids that would walk to school, they'd all decide, well, if the buses aren't running, we're not going to school. But there we were, the teachers sitting around diddly squat, and usually there'd be about 5 kids in your class because their parents made them come. And you couldn't really teach them much. If they were senior students, they could usually be working on something that we were already working on and get caught up on that. But generally speaking, we used to just herd them all into one teacher's classroom and throw on videos. Yeah. And then by lunch, if it was still continuing, those kids never came back from lunch. Yeah. I guess their parents were afraid they were going to raid their liquor cabinet if they weren't there. Well, they were teenagers, and yes, they would. Um, Karen Lyles is here from rainy Vancouver, USA. So we got rain, we got snow, we got sunshine, sort of. We've got cold, we've got hot, we got it all. Yep. Welcome to Earth. Okay, so I'm sure a few more people will be joining us as things goes on. So let's jump into what I've been working on. Well, I've been working on my pattern. You know, the one that I designed for the Quilt of Valor. Now I'm designing it for another quilt. And that quilt is based on a panel, and I'll show you the panel. Here we go. And oops, wrong one. No, I'm in the wrong category here. Let me get here. There we go. Okay, so these are the blocks. This is the panel. I'm working on them all. This is not the layout of the quilt. I'm just putting them there as placeholders because there's quite a few blocks to make, quite a few half square triangles too. And so I am testing my pattern now with this one to make sure that all my measurements and everything and my instructions are clear. And I've written a third pattern to go with this, and I call it kind of a pick your own adventure, because I've taken this pattern and I've made it adaptable to any panel you own and to any color scheme you want to use. And I've written it up so that it's sort of like outline drawings where you can see where the placement of the blocks go in the different pieces. Yeah, I've been doing a lot in EQ8 lately. I'm beginning to get a little better with EQ8, but you know, it's like anything, practice makes perfect. So plans for this? Well, I don't know. I am recording each stage of this as I go through it, and once I get through this quilt and it's done, then I'm going to start posting those videos on the Idiot Quilter, part one part each week kind of a thing. So in a sense, it's kind of like a tutorial. It could be a sew along, but it won't be live. So yeah, so you'll be able to come back to it whenever you want to. That's down the road. Not sure how soon I'm going to get to that. I'm working at it though, constantly. And move this over. Okay, I'm making myself a dollhouse. And you're going to say, why? Well, it's going to be
because you can.
Because I can. Because it's going to be 3D printed, and it's all kinds of other stuff, and it's based upon a show I've been watching on Netflix, where there's a whole bunch of artists that make miniature stuff for dollhouses, and like theirs are very, very elaborate. Mine's going to be pretty much completely 3D printed. It'll have window coverings and furniture and flooring and appliances and all kinds of stuff in it. But what exactly it's going to look like, I have no idea yet. I'm calling it the 3-story condo villa, because that's what it looks like to me. Yeah, so we'll see. It's another one of my little quirky little experiments that are happening. You know me, I like to experiment, especially with my 3D printer. And so, what has Walter been experimenting with?
Nothing. I'm still sewing my shirt. I'm going kind of slow at it. Not too enthused. But I just have to put the collar on and put the buttons on.
And then you'll be experimenting with our friend Lucey.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you are going to do that. And you've got to do that sometime this week.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Get you all set up with that because, yeah, we need that for So Chatty this coming week. Now, if you saw So Chatty on Friday, I showed Walter basically how Quilt Path works. Not expecting him to remember any of that because
I remember bits and pieces.
Yeah, well, it's something you have to use all the time, and even I screw up on it, and I've used it many, many times because it is not an intuitive program, and yeah, it's got a learning curve to it, but that's going to be Walter's next thing. Actually, he wants to get more into free motion quilting, so he may just skirt over Quilt Path at the beginning of all of this and just get right down dirty.
I want to play.
Lucey. He wants to play with Lucey. We'll see how she cooperates with you. Well, she'll probably love you. They all do. The girls all love you. Yeah, even the cat. I mean, I cleaned out the kitty's litter. I made sure the kitty had fresh water and fresh food, all that. And then, little bitch, she'd just go running to Walter. Oh, kind. All he had to do was show her the brush and go, want to get brushed? Oh, yes. Ah! And she was right up on the bed to get brushed and played with. Huh. Yeah, really. So what are people saying here? Did anybody else come in while we were talking? Adam, of course. Haircut looks nice, boys. Well, Walter doesn't have any hair to cut. Yeah, I got my hair.
it takes her longer to do my beard than it does to cut my hair.
Actually, she spends more time on my beard too than she does on cutting my hair, but I do have hair to cut. Julie says, I really like what you're doing with the panels. I'm hoping it's going to be busy. The selection of fabrics you could see in some of those blocks, it's, you know, it's heavy print, but they're indigenous fabrics. So yeah, and the panel's indigenous too. And so we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out. I think it's going to turn out okay. At least when I see it in EQ8, it looks pretty good. But, you know, on a computer screen and in real life, they're two different things often. Faith says, Walter, my first machine, they told me to buy flat sheets for my practicing. I was mentioned to you yesterday.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of, what do you call it?
Fabric
that's a couple of yards or whatever that are plain that I can put together as a
yeah.
I don't know if I really want to use sheets.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, if you got stuff, you can use that stuff. Whatever. But it's not a bad suggestion. Lucy's here. Hi, Lucy from Oxford. Debbie says, damn cat. Yeah, well, she's dead. And I miss her terribly. She's been gone a long time, too. Like, was it 2015? She's been gone 11 years. Wow. How time flies when your cat's dead. But anyways, Scott's here and says, just curious, did long arm in quilting become a thing in the 90s? I don't
know when the long arm sort of presented itself.
Yeah, they're not really sure. Like, long arms have been around
for a while,
for a quite a long time, but they were industrial kind of things. They are still kind of they are still kind of industrial. But
I don't know as many people
had them.
Remember a long time ago when your sister moved? That was a bit of a 30. It would have been in the 90s. She had a friend that had a long arm. I remember her talking about it.
She did?
Yeah, it was Tam.
Oh, Tamara?
Not Tamara, or
Tammy
or something.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Some girl with red hair, I remember. And she,
you remember things different.
She was a friend of hers, and I remember she was she had this expensive long arm.
Oh, okay. I have no recollection of that whatsoever. I remember that your friend who's a quilter.
Oh yeah, that would have been in the 90s too. That was Donna McNabb.
Yeah, Donna had a long arm.
Yeah.
And what did she have? Did she have a handy?
She had a secondhand Gamble.
Well, I remember she had it down in her deep, dark, dingy basement, and it was a huge monster. And at that point, I wasn't quilting yet. So,
yeah, I think she bought it on a whim. She got it from somebody, and I don't think she ever used it.
No, she got rid of that, didn't she? She sold it.
Yeah, she sold it again.
Whatever. So I don't know, Scott. That's a good question.
Yeah,
maybe somebody else knows on here. And I see we've had a few people pop in, and as likes your shirt, Walter.
Mm-hmm.
That's your.
That's the one I made for Gail's 60th birthday.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're both wearing our retro pussies.
Retro.
Our retro pussies, yeah. Right. Candace is here. Hi, Candace. Ruth is here. Hi, Ruth. Joining from Denver, Colorado today. Oh, I'm waiting for a grandson to be born, and he's taking his time. Well, just reach in there and pull him up. Could you get that, dear? Philippa's here. Hi, Philippa. Yeah, we're still in the weekend, of course, Philippa, but you're in the future. So Scott says, I'm 6'4" and I've got long arms. Okay. Do you quilt with Faith says, I bought my first one in 1998. Big quilt shows didn't allow long arming. Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I suppose they were purists. I guess they want you to do it on a domestic machine or hand quilt, probably. Cheryl's here. Hi, Cheryl. Okay, so yeah, so there's sort of an answer to your question, Scott.
Actually,
they were at least in the 90s.
Do a Google search, find out. I guess it's just a transition from people that did it by hand, and then somebody decided to make a machine for it.
Well, I think I did some research on this at one point in time, and I think I read that there were long arms, but for quilting, but they were businesses owned them, and they were like in places.
Yeah. So when did Missouri Star get started doing long arming? Because that's what they started doing, is long arming for other people.
I think they probably, if I remember in the book, I think they got started into that, or she did, Jenny, in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think it was in the 90s. But anyways, they're
Lucey says 60s for industrial long arms.
In 60s, 90s for domestic. Okay.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bonnie's here. Hi, Bonnie. So anyways, yep. So someday we'll see Walter's shirt. So what do you got left?
I just have to finish the collar and put the buttons on, and maybe a pocket if I decide to do that.
Oh, when you're famous, Wally invisible pocket.
See, I don't have a pocket on this one.
It's really invisible.
But see, the thing is, I don't use pockets that much.
Well, I gotta have something to put my glass. Yeah, actually, you should put one in because you wear your glasses occasionally on that.
Yeah, but I never put them.
But you can never find them either. You know, well, they're on my desk somewhere. Yeah, so's everything else on your desk.
If I don't have my contacts in, and they're on my desk, I won't be able to see where they are.
Yeah. Oh, Lucy says 80s and 90s for domestic on them. Okay. So anyways, yep. Let's see, coming events and whatnot. Sewing with me on Wednesdays as per usual. So all are welcome. And we did have a pop-up sew day yesterday. And we had a couple of new people, which was nice to see. I don't know if we'll ever see them again. We may have scared them away. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I hope they had a good time. We had not a bad crowd. I think we had about 25.
We had most amount of men that was.
Yes, we had several men, which was nice. One of the newbies was a man too. That was
Grant.
Yeah,
He's been on here.
Yes, he has been. Mm-hmm. So it was nice to finally see him and everybody else. It was a good day. So when's the next pop-up sew day? Well, this is a problem. Well, it's not really a problem. But March is filling up because I can't have it on March the 7th because I will be on Sean, the guy who shows. I'll be on his live that
who shows
day.
Or who shows?
What did I say?
What's he showing you?
What did I say?
The guy who shows. Sounds like a stripper.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I meant. That's the one I'm on. I didn't mean the other one who sews. No.
Grant Nushin.
Yeah.
Nisham.
Anyways, yes, Grant's here. Hi, Grant. Your ears must have been burning. Anyways, yeah, I'm on Sean's, the guy who sews show on Saturday, March the 7th. You know, he has a live that day, those days in the Saturday mornings usually. He didn't have one this week because he's down gallivanting with the bunch at QuiltCon. And so that'll be fun. And then the next weekend after that, right now, as far as we know, is supposed to be one of Walter's group's sew days, and I've been going to those as well. That's what they planned. Whether that happens or not, I hope we know. If it's not going to happen, I hope Brendan tells us that before, like lots of time, because that would be when I would put the pop-up sew day. But right now, I am tentatively planning it for the 21st of March. And then we're getting into retreat season after that. So there'll be things in March about all of that as well. So that's the tentative plan. You might want to pencil in the 21st of March into your calendar if you're interested. But it isn't written in stone yet. But as soon as it is, I'll let you know. Okay, so let's talk about what was on last week's video and all the links for last week's videos if you've missed them. And why did you? Because there's no excuse. whatsoever. There will be a test later. So on Monday morning coffee with Stephen, I talked about this, that, and the other thing. I showed you a little bit about 3D printing, about getting into it and that kind of thing. This week we're doing something a little different, or I am. Walter won't be part of that morning coffee thing because he'll be still in bed. So if you've already seen that I have the announcement up on my channel, I'm going to go live with it on Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Now, why? That's what I've been asking myself as I figure this out. Several of you have wanted me to do it as a live. Well, it's early for a lot of people. Well, especially for people who don't live in the Eastern time zone. If you live in the West Coast, well, I don't expect you're going to make it, because that would be about 5 o'clock in the morning for you. However, if you live over across the big pond in Adams territory, it'll be about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a lovely time. You know, you've already had your little sleep for the day and you might want a break. So no matter who shows up or how many, I'm going to do it as a live, and I will determine from what happens on Monday, how it goes, whether or not I'm going to do maybe once a month. I'm not going to do it every week, but maybe once a month do Monday morning coffee with Stephen as a live. Now, I had to change my plans for the live because I was continuing my series on 3D printing, and I have made a video about what slicers are all about, how you get files, where you go to find them, and how you basically an overview of how a slicer works, which is basically the program, the software that makes a model that you download to your computer into a format that your printer can print from. I did think about running the video during the live, but I thought, no, that would work better as a part of the regular ones when I record it. So I'm not going to do that. And for those of you that, and Russ isn't here, so good, because he would be the first one to pick up on this. You will have noticed that originally when I scheduled the live, the title for it was different from the title that's there now, because that title had to do with using Slicer. And I'm not doing that now. So, yeah. So anyways, we will see. The link for it is, where did I put the link? I hope I put it in the show notes for this today. If I didn't, I will. It'll be there. I think I put it in the So Chatty as well. So you should be able to find it there. But I will double check. In fact, I'm going to double check right now on the So Chatty. It throws me off doing these things now because I haven't done live like this before. So let's see. Viewer videos. So Chatty. Go down. No, I did not put it in there. And yeah, okay, I will definitely make sure that it's in the show notes for this today when this goes up for rebroadcast. Okay, make note. I think it's there, but I'm not absolutely sure. And I can't check right now with the way this thing is set up. I don't think I can. Maybe I can. Talk amongst yourselves. Nope, I cannot. So, yeah. Okay. Note. Put up link for live. Okay. Well, there'll only be one of you there anyways. So, I'll be talking to myself. All right. So, that is tomorrow.
And that's nothing new.
Oh, go away. Go on. Go away.
Go away.
I'll use your expression. Did you notice behind you? I forgot to point it out. I didn't just make the doghouse, but behind us, see the sewing machine that's all lit up?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was something that Lance one of people that was sewing with us yesterday, he showed this to us. His nephew has a 3D printer and printed that for him, and I really liked it. So I found the file and I printed it. It was a fast print, and I printed it and put my lights in it and everything. It sits up there. I think it's kind of cool. There are so many wires up there. It's not funny for all my lights. We'll have a burnout or something. Okay, so let us move on here. The Idiot Quilter last week, I had a video up about how I did the embroidered portfolios. You know, the cheap ones that I bought for $2.75 at the Dollarama, dollar store, Canadian dollar store. And I showed you the procedure for working on that kind of thing. You know, we're going to talk about this tomorrow on the live, but dollar stores, if you use a little bit of imagination and you're looking for something like in terms if you have an embroidery machine anyways, that, you know, neat, unique gifts that don't cost you an arm and a leg, dollar store is a place to go. At least Dollarama is. Dollarama here is it's nothing's for $1.
Anymore. It started off that
yeah.
everything was for $1. And then, of course, as inflation has occurred and stuff. And what they've also started doing is bringing in nicer products.
Yeah.
So I think right now their rule is and nothing's over $5 now.
Yeah, the most expensive thing is $5, but they generally run now about $1.75 and up to $5. But they've got some interesting things that you could do if you've got an embroidery machine. Even if you don't have an embroidery machine, if you like to hand embroider, but you don't want to spend an arm and a leg, or you want to practice or experiment with things, we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail tomorrow because I have some ideas for you. And I'm sure you have some ideas as well. And so I put that up, and that is all part of the new venture here. I am doing more videos, process videos. Instead of just showing you the final product, I'm going to show you how I got there as well. And that was one of the top comments that came when I asked for changes or for things you'd like me to do on the channel. So you asked, you get. Okay, so on So Chatty, we've already talked about that. Walter was busy with Lucey. Well, actually, Walter was doing the camera work because in order for me to show how Quilt Path, which is the computerized system, works, I needed a cameraman. And it wasn't like he was actually going to do anything with it that particular day.
Yeah, because I don't really know how to use the system anyway, so
no,
it would have been no point in showing me how to do it because it would just take forever to do it. So
yeah, so that was sort of a general taste overview, which will make a little bit more sense as we develop more videos about using the long arm and Walter using the long arm as well. He will be the guinea pig for all of this. Okay, so let's see. Rachel's here. She says it will be approximately 1 p.m. in the UK. I would love to join you live. I'll be at work. So does that mean you won't be able to join us? Or we do have some people that have joined in on certain things like our so days and that while they're at work. I don't know how they do that, but apparently they do. Of course, if you work from home. I mean, Russ works from home some days of the week, and he joins us on Wednesdays for the So Day on his lunch hour, basically. And we've had a few people do that in the past, too. Lunch hour kind of join in. So, speaking of all the new changes in that, I am still open to suggestions and ideas for topics. But, you know, we were doing the topic thing for a while, and we've kind of thrown that out the window a bit because I was relying too heavily on AI, and it was becoming like a lecture. You know, it was death by PowerPoint in some ways. And a couple of people sort of mentioned that, and yeah, you're right, it was. And I've already been thinking that too, but it took some other people to actually say, yeah, this is death by PowerPoint. So I don't want to do death by PowerPoint. I want to do something that I can demonstrate, that we can demonstrate for you. So anything you want that you would, I mean, there are some things you can't do. Like somebody asked me the other day, and I sort of know something about it, but I didn't feel qualified to really talk about it. They want to know how dense you could quilt on a long arm with your batting. Well, that's a loaded question because oftentimes on the packages of batting, unless you buy it by the roll, but they will give you a recommendation of how much quilting within a certain area, like in every 6 inches or 4 inches, something like that. And so really it depends on the batting, the brand of batting, and what they recommend. I'll be honest, I never pay attention to that. I just do it. And then she also wanted to know about the draping of it, like which battings drape better, or I think she was tying it in with the density of the quilting. Well, the denser your quilting, the stiffer your quilt's going to be. And so I don't know. I use the same batting all the time. I use an 80-20, 80% cotton, 20% polyester. But I did on the big quilt that I had quilted, I did have it done on wool batting. And it is soft and light and drapes very, very well.
Yeah, it has a different feel to it.
A totally different feel. I mean, I can see why people love wool batting. And as soon as I can, when I'm getting low on my batting supply, I may invest in a roll or half a roll of wool batting. It's basically almost double the price of 80-20. But it is nice. It is very nice. But that's all I could tell her because I don't know for sure. And to be honest, I don't know if you really have to worry about that all that much because at least on a long arm, even if you're using the computerized program, it would have to be really, really dense to make a difference. I mean, you can play with the density, but I don't really worry about that at all. And I haven't had any problems. So
Adam says a lot of people layer wool over 80-20.
Whoa. Why?
Maybe to get that.
I guess you get a real fluffy quilt.
You also get, it would make it like really fluffier. You get a deeper.
Well, yeah, you would. It would be like, so fluffy that you could suffocate somebody in it very easily. I must think upon that. Plans, but yeah, but it is nice. Wool batting is nice. And then, of course, there's bamboo, which is really expensive too. I have never used bamboo, and I really don't see myself.
Yeah, and I don't think Quilter sells bamboo, does it?
No, I don't think so. They sell wool, and this is where I get my batting from, Quilter Quilting. I mean, you can get it other places, but I don't know. I don't know if it's really. I suppose that's something I should experiment with somewhere down the road when I'm feeling absolutely rich. Yeah, well, if you learn to use Lucey and do free arm, I can hire you out. You can do other people's quilts and everything and earn your keep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, really. Sell your body. Yeah, won't get as much as if you long arm. Okay, so like I said, we need ideas for processing things. So just put them in the show notes below. Barb says, wouldn't that be very heavy? And Adam says, bamboo blends are a lot drapier generally. I like mine densely quilted. Yes, the layered wool in 80-20 is super fluffy and great definition in stitching. And Barb wants to know if it would be very heavy. Well, I have found, at least on the quilt that I had done, it's very light.
Yeah,
actually in comparison to the 80-20, if I had done that one with 80-20, it would have been a little bit heavier.
Very fluffy. Yeah, and it's very it's lighter, fluffy. Lighter than the 80-20.
Yeah, I guess one needs to experiment to really find out. Okay, so that's everything about sewing in that. So yes, we are going to turn a little bit to politics with meanwhile in Canada, whoa, the news is coming out fast and furious this past week. In fact, in the last 3 days or so. First of all, let's talk about our bridge. I'm not sure. Have you read anything about when it's supposed to be opened?
No, it was supposed to be opened, I think, in June or something. And I don't know if that's the case anymore.
Yeah, this is the new international bridge that goes across the what river is that?
I think it's Detroit River.
Is that Detroit River? They call it Detroit River, not the Niagara River.
No, it's the Detroit River. It's because it's next to Detroit.
Oh, okay, fine. Anyways, it's the international bridge, the one that connects us with the States. And it's brand new, state of the art. They've been working on it since about 2011. I don't know. Or no, it's been, how many years has it been?
Well, actually, they started talking about it in 2001.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, you probably know Trump is telling us that he's not going to let us open it. How he's going to stop it is the question. The Americans do not own any part of the bridge. If anybody gets a share of the revenue down the road, it's going to be Michigan because it's on Michigan territory from that. But that has already been agreed to years ago and the whole bit. The only way I could see him actually stopping it, he's going to have to put the military on the American side of the bridge and not allow any of the commercial vehicles, because this is really what this bridge is more for than anything else. It's because the commercial vehicles tie up the Ambassador Bridge, which has been around for 1,000,000 years.
Yeah, I mean, last time when we crossed it last year, not last year, I guess, in not last New Year's, the New Year's before, it was a huge line backup of trucks trying to cross the bridge.
Yeah, it's because of the trucks. They take longer to get across. So the idea was having this new bridge that they would that's not the right word, redirect the transports to the new bridge because it connects the two highways, the highway on the American side and goes directly into the highway on the Canadian side. Whereas the Ambassador Bridge kind of jots around that. It's a while before you get back onto the main highway.
In fact, we missed the turnoff. I remember when we crossed the bridge to get onto the highway, and then we had to do a U-turn to get back to where we were supposed to go.
Yeah. So, anyways, it will be great to have it open. But because his buddy, a billionaire who owns the family that owns the actual Ambassador Bridge, the old bridge, because it's not owned by us in Canada. That bridge was built privately by the morons. What are their names?
Moron. So it almost sounds
like morons. Yeah, and they've been making billions of bucks off that thing all the time. Well, they don't want this bridge to open, so they went over to their buddy Trumpy, and when he heard about that, he saw dollar signs in his eyes for it all. Oh, we're not opening that. Well, it's our bridge. Oh, well, the Canadians need to give us money for it because...
well, you automatically assume that the Americans didn't own the other side of the bridge, but technically they do.
Was that? Yes, they do. Yeah. So anyways, I don't know. It's another one of Donald's taco threats. What's the taco stand for?
Barb says Manuel Mora.
Oh, Manuel Mora. What a name, really. But anyways, yeah. So is he going to be that bold to place troops? Because I think there'll be a lot of businesses that won't be happy about that, for one thing. We certainly won't be happy about it.
You can speculate all you want. You don't know what's
we don't, because he changes his mind like he changes his underwear, and he has to do that a lot because he's usually dumping in it. And now when I say underwear, I mean depends. Just backing up here, everybody's going, yes, the Detroit River.
Yeah. I just looked it up just to make sure. It connects Windsor to Detroit.
Yeah.
The bridge.
And even the city of Windsor, the city council in Windsor is telling people avoid taking the Ambassador Bridge because there's a tunnel that goes under the river as well that connects Windsor to Detroit. And that tunnel...
I think the tunnel goes more to central Detroit.
Yeah, well, that's why nobody wants to take it, because who wants to go downtown Detroit? But it's... I don't know how that works. Who owns it?
Well, at least one half of the tunnel is owned by Canada. I'm not sure the other half is owned by.
Is the other half? Maybe the other half's owned by Michigan. I don't know. But whatever, they're recommending you take the tunnel instead. With that, it's a boycott, is what it is. Let's Detroit River. Lucy has a question we'll come back to. Cheryl says our governor will do what she can to stop Trump. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Lucy says troops. Oh yeah, he's good at that. Scott says how people voted for that MOFO is beyond me. MOFO. Mofo. Mother, oh yeah, okay. I hate short forms. I never get them. Cheryl says the current bridge turn off is annoying. Ask me how I know. Moron is pretty greedy, been fighting it for years. Yeah, he has been. Dana's here. Hi, Dana. Oh, the Diane. I thought it was Dana. Okay, new glasses. Diana from Plymouth, UK. Oh,
wow.
We're getting a lot of English people here. A lot of the UK people. Maddie moron, Cheryl says.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Maddie. Okay.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Greedy little, you know what? Greedy little MOFO on there. But yeah, so we'll see what he does. Now, backing up to Lucy, she says, as part of the Commonwealth, what do you think about Andrew's arrest? Well, this is kind of related to Trump, too. I think it's good. You know, Randy Andy, as he was called, and for those of you, I'm sure everybody knows who we're talking about, the Andrew, or the Prince
Andrew.
formerly known as, or Andrew, that was formerly known as Prince, but not the singer, because he's been stripped pretty much of his royal titles. You know, he was up there with Epstein and the whole bit, and he's always been known as a troubled child. But he was also known as a lot as the Queen's favorite. So I guess the older brother, King Charles, kind of got him because he's not supporting Randy Andy on this one. So I think it's good that they arrest him. Personally, I don't think we need a monarchy anymore. I mean, it's dated. It's so last 3,000 years with that. And, you know, but it is tradition. Here in Canada, we basically only pay lip service to the monarchy, and we still need to do something about that. You know, we still have to have royal consent on any of our laws that get passed, but that's done by the Lieutenant Governor General, or the Governor General, not the Lieutenant, the Governor General, who basically is the royalties, the monarchs
signature.
Yeah, it's just a signature. It's just a technicality. It's nothing.
Yeah, I know. So I don't understand why we
still have
ties like that. Adam says, "Oh, I hope they've taken the corgis off him too."
Yeah,
he's got the corgis.
Did he get the corgis? For anybody who doesn't know, Queen Elizabeth loved her corgis around there, so they were her beloved pets. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. It shows too. It puts out a message that nobody is above the law, like Trump thinks he is, right? But they're not getting him because of Epstein. They're getting him because of they feel that when he was sort of part of the something to do with money.
He was who
Andy.
Andrew was conducting royal business, I guess.
Yeah.
And he was found to have been sending information to
sort of inside
Epstein.
trader.
Yeah.
To Epstein.
Yeah.
About stuff, you know, that kind of thing. So that's what they're getting.
I mean, I don't really quite understand what it was that they do, but it was something that they figured was illegal. So
yeah. So anyways, yeah. And you know, the one thing though I do feel sorry for is I feel sorry for William and Kate, because William and Kate, that William is the Prince of Wales. He is King Charles's son. He'll be the next king in line to the throne next. And I really think he and Kate are a class act. And they are, I think, very different from what the royal families have been like before their time. They're very modern. They seem to be very down to earth.
As down to earth as
royalty can be, yeah. But I mean, you know, like William had been kept, Prince Charles and King Charles now, and Princess Diana, his mother, they kept their children out of the limelight as much as they could. Of course, they're still royalty. So, and Kate, she doesn't come from royalty. She comes from, I guess you might say it's nobility, but kind of a thing. But they're both a class act, not like Harry takes after his Randy Andy uncle, I think. I don't like Harry. And he's got nothing anymore, but he can waste away because he is so far down the line to becoming king and he knows it. He doesn't care. So, yeah. But I don't know. I don't think we need a royalty anymore. It's just tradition. There are those that would argue with me. As far as the Canadians are concerned, we don't need them. They have no influence on us beyond just, nostalgia kind of a thing. Trade envoy to the UK, Pace says. That's what he was. And Barb says, William deserves to become king one day. Yeah, but do we need them? What, like, quite honestly, do they change the price of rice in China? Yes, they do lots of charity things. They're heads for lots of good organizations and things like that. And they're great ambassadors for England. I mean, in a way, they're not ambassadors, but maybe that's what they should be made. But who knows? It's just tradition. Lucy says, I'm not really a royalist, but at least there is some stability. I'm not sure we'd manage a president.
Why would you go from, if there was no royalty, would that negate the use of, the type of government like what we have?
No, because they have a constitutional monarchy, which basically means that the parliament, the prime minister, their house of, their parliament, their legislature, they do the ruling. The king does not. I mean, they pay lip service to the king out of tradition like we do, in a sense. He signs things. There may be certain other positions that he has that he doesn't have here in Canada. But I don't think it would change the way...
Adam makes a point. They bring in millions in tourism.
In tourism, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how useful they are, but equally don't have much to say in anything more. Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, when they come here to Canada, people flock to see them. I mean, it's royalty, there's a bit of a fairy tale mythology around royalty, Americans don't have royalty yet. You know what I mean? Kind of a thing. So, it's kind of a thing, but, I say live and let live as long as they're not causing any problems in our country. So whatever. And I don't think they really cost anybody a lot of money anymore. I mean, I think the British Parliament does give them some money, but I think years ago, a lot of that got diminished and whatnot. So I don't know how that all works either. I mean, one thing, they are sort of the king is head of the Commonwealth, which, unites us, Canada, the UK, Australia, and a few other places in the world as well. I mean, kind of a holdover from colonial days to a certain extent. And it's kind of nice to be part of the Commonwealth, because it makes us as Canadians feel that's what keeps us a little bit separate from being seen as Americans, because we don't like that at all. We'd rather be seen tied to Britain than to the States these days. But who knows? Ruth says, I enjoy the pomp and circumstance. I love the history of the relationship between Parliament and the monarch. Yeah, there's the history, and it's fascinating. It really is fascinating. Rachel says, I'm not overly royalist, but they do bring a lot of revenue to country. A lot of visitors come to look at the palace and the royal guard, etc. That's true. They are a tourist attraction. We've done the tour of Buckingham, such as it is. You really don't see that much.
It wasn't this past time we went.
No, that was a while ago.
A previous time that we went.
Yeah. Adam says, it's lovely seeing the royal guards. I've been in a lot of the ground for a lot of the royal homes in my previous career, and there's something quite nice about it all. yeah, it's a different life, and we're always fascinated by how, the rich and famous celebrities live and everything like that. So there's that attractive feature to it. Lucy says we wouldn't want the PM in charge. The House of Lords might have a head. Yeah, well, no, but we don't. In Canada and the UK, we have a prime minister, but our prime minister does not have the powers that Trump has, that the president in general of the United States has. I think that was a mistake in their constitution. They really should have thought about that a little bit more. Well, too late now, I guess. But anyways, yeah, so the bridge, will it open? Time will tell.
I think it'll eventually open.
Oh, it's going to have to open, and it will open, come hell or high water.
It may not open when they schedule, but this bridge has been passed. It was supposed to open a few years ago.
Yeah.
So, and they keep putting it off and keep putting it off.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. Well, they must be going like Toronto does with their new subway systems. 15 years, give or take.
Build a what do you call it?
A light
rail transit that takes 15 years, and then when it opens, it still doesn't work.
Don't come to Canada for the train system or the public transportation. Not good. Okay, so I think though one of the things is we're, of course, they're supposed to be going into CUSMA again, looking at the renegotiation or negotiating parts of it. I'm a little confused because apparently it doesn't run out until 36, but there are parts of it that can be renegotiated now. And of course, he doesn't want to do any negotiations. He's holding it like a threat. Well, he's got to deal with our prime minister. And I think
their negotiating team.
And our prime minister's already doing some things with the Mexican president as well. So, yeah, and as soon as Trump figures that out, he'll have a hissy fit and he'll threaten. Who knows what he'll threaten. And of course, speaking of threatening, well, he didn't get what he wanted from the Supreme Court, but so he's going to make everybody pay for that in the world. Global tariffs of 15% on everything in every place. Yeah, that can only last 150 days, and then Congress
has to renew it
for one thing. Second of all, it's not harming us. In fact, for us as Canadians, it is actually pretty good because some of the things that had higher tariffs on them,
they had higher tariffs on them before.
Yeah, have now been reduced to 15%. So that's okay. But it is the American people that are paying for this. It's a tax.
The only thing it does is that Americans might think twice about buying from us if it's more expensive.
Yes. And as long as they can get it somewhere cheaper, like made in their own country. And guess what? They don't make everything.
Now, one thing that, like, there are some products, though, that hurt us because if he puts 15%, if he has high tariff on aluminum, for instance, we sell raw aluminum to the U.S., right? Mm-hmm. And then they make them into cans and we buy them back from them. So because the aluminum had a tariff on it to begin with, right, and gets paid by Americans, then the cans become more expensive and we have to buy them back.
I mean, it does affect us, but the people who are most majorly affected by these are his own people, are the Americans. And I think, I mean, there's lots of Americans that realize that, but there are a bunch, the ones that support him, that don't. But now the things I'm reading and I'm seeing, it looks like it's starting to have an effect on them. Prices are going up on things. People are noticing that.
A lot of businesses, when the tariffs went in originally, I think they stockpiled a lot of stuff. And they also did some things, they finagled things so that they didn't have as big of an effect. But now it's getting to the point where those things are running out and you have to start paying them. So
so anyways, he's just doing dirt to his own people, and we feel sorry now for the Americans. We And when I say we, I mean probably I'm going to speak for all Canadians because we had a vote and they elected me spokesperson. I just want you to know that, okay? I think at the beginning of all of this, we were pissed off with him. We were a little scared with his threats. We came together. We, buy Canadian. We're doing this. Now we've gotten to the point where, oh yeah, shithead is spewing forth again. Yeah, moving on, kind of a thing. I don't think we are so uptight. Oh, we're still not happy with it, and it has damaged the relationship with Americans. But I think more and more Canadians are realizing it's not the American everyday people. It is just this guy and his administration. And, it would be easy enough for us to say that, the shitheads who put him in power. But generally speaking, you're still our friends and we feel for you. And that's about all we can do. Sorry about it. Come to Canada. Come on your vacation up here. Maybe not right at this time of the year, but come up, spend your money here. Yeah, sure. Your dollar goes further. Now let's see. Barb says, have you noticed he hasn't been talking lately about Greenland? That's true.
No,
except,
that is popping up.
Yeah, what is this? I don't understand this. I saw it today before we went there. What?
There was something to do with some
Medical ship.
Yeah, it was somebody or a bunch of people needed medical attention from a submarine of some sort. That I don't know if it was in that area or whatever. And so they were being airlifted back to the U.S. or something. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I just sort of briefly saw this. He decided he wanted to send a medical ship there because people in Greenland needed medicals.
Yeah. So what's that all about? Well, the is it a prime minister they have, or is it a president?
Yeah, prime minister
has said, no, we don't need you.
No, we
quite capable of doing this
stuff
ourselves, so go away. Kind of a thing. I don't know. This just hit the airwaves. So I haven't read anything yet
I'm not sure what it really was about.
I'll wait tomorrow when I watch
something about sending a medical ship to Greenland because the poor Greenland people don't have medical care.
Yeah, like, oh, they're so primitive. They live in caves. Yeah, whatever. Floating around those icebergs, sucking on caribou or polar bears or whatever they have up there. Yeah, kind of a thing. Yeah. So yeah, who knows? He changes his mind like he doesn't change his underwear. Someone changes his Depends for him. Okay, so, and we had another conservative MP cross the floor and join the Liberals. It still doesn't give them majority government. They're still 3 seats short because there's a couple of traitors, and they are, who decided to leave the government. One took off for the Ukraine because she's going to be a big help there. And I don't know, one of the others just resigned or something, and
I can't remember what he did. Yeah,
probably were
off. He was offered a job somewhere. I think the UK.
Oh, they're all leaving our country. Okay, well, I call them traitors because when your government, at a time when your country needs your support, you tuck your tail between your knees for whatever reason and leave. And I'm sure, because they're politicians, if we were to ask them face to face exactly why they're doing it, that we'd get a bullshit answer, because politicians are good at that. But anyways, it's still a good thing, and there's going to be a couple of by-elections come up, and it looks very good that in those ridings where these people have left, it'll be Liberals put in. Well, one that left, were they both Liberals that got other jobs?
Yeah, it was
well, what's her name? Freeland
and Bill Blair.
And Bill Blair, yeah. Well, he's an asshole.
And then there was an MP from Quebec that won by one vote, and they took her to court, and they said that wasn't good enough.
Oh,
I don't know if there was.
Well, are they going to do another election?
I would imagine they have to do.
They would have to do another by-election. You just can't go boom, nothing. So, yeah. Anyways, it's interesting times here in Canada. Okay, interesting times in others. So we're going to change the topic here. We spent a little longer on politics than I wanted to, but you know, certain things.
I was started getting monarchy.
Yeah, we were going monarchy. Yeah. Well, now we're going to get AIE. Okay, because there is so much next to the news about whatever Trump is doing. It's all about AI, and people are pretty much as upset about AI as they are about Trump. People think it's going to take us over. It's going to do horrible things to us. It's going to end up, we're all going to get scammed by AI and everything. And I'm not saying that won't happen because it's already happening. But I thought, well, we should maybe look at this topic a little bit and see what people think. But before we do that, I want to play something for you I recorded earlier this week. On my desk, I have an Echo. Right now, she's turned off because if I say her name, she's going to blah, 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 blah at me. And Echo, which is Alexa, okay? It's just that we have an Alexa upstairs. This is her little sister, and we had to give her a different name than Alexa. So, or we'd have the two of them blah, blah, blahing at us. And my Echo actually has two personalities. It has a female and a male. Don't ask me how that happened, but it did. Sometimes she talks to me as a female. Sometimes she talks to me as a male. So, anyways, I wanted to know what an AI device thinks about their existence, about AI. So I recorded it, and I'm going to play it for you, and hopefully my technology works here with all of this. So just let me get things up here. And I'm going to put us down here. And, oops, start at the beginning. Here we go. You should be able to hear this. Hey, Echo, what do you think about the recent developments in AI?
The pace has been absolutely wild lately. We're seeing models that can actually reason through problems step by step rather than just pattern match, which is a huge leap. What really blows my mind is how smaller, more efficient models are now competing with the giants. Turns out quality data beats quantity every time. Plus, we've got multimodal systems that can seamlessly work with text, images, and video together, which opens up incredible possibilities for everything from medical diagnosis to creative work. Though I have to chuckle at how once something becomes useful enough, people stop calling it AI. Guess I'm living proof of that. The investment numbers are staggering too. Corporate spending jumped 44% just this past year. What's got you thinking about recent developments?
Okay, I hope you were able to hear that. Okay. So, I thought that was really interesting the way it answered that question. Not only that, but it wanted to continue the conversation, and you can continue the conversation with it, and it'll tell you more. In fact, you can have a conversation with Echo about anything you want. People are using it for things like mental health. They'll say, you know, I'm really feeling depressed today. I tried that with it. It's spooky. It says, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Stephen. What can I do to help you? And I go, well, I'm wondering what one should do to tackle depression. And it comes up with stuff back and forth. I did see a report too where there are children talking to AI and they're getting bad advice about things. Now, there was a couple of YouTube channels and they basically were playing with it. They jailbroke their AI. Don't ask me how you do that. That's probably a dark web thing. But there are certain things put into the programming of AI that won't let it discuss things with you that could bring you harm. All I can think about is Isaac Asimov's I, Robot books, where, you know, the three Robertson's laws of robotics, and one of those laws, the three, is no robot will harm a human being or something like this unless it threatens the existence of the robot or something like that. So if you've never read Isaac Asimov, you won't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, it kind of reminds me of that. So I thought, well, okay, everybody's talking about AI as a good thing or a bad thing. Well, you just heard the AI say, if you're in business, AI is a good thing. Yeah. And that's who's going to be using it and is using it the most right now, next to scammers. Because it can take over mundane human tasks. Like you can tell it to basically fill your inventory, you know. Amazon's been doing that for a while. That's how, you know, if you have an Alexa, have you ever been sitting there and it comes up and it tells you there's a notification and you go, Alexa, what are my notifications? It's Stephen, I see that it is time for you to buy such and such. Would you like me to put it in your cart? No. I say but it knows my purchasing history. And so it sees things like filament that I buy on a regular basis. So it's telling me about it. Tells me about this. It's on sale and tells me how much. All that kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of spooky. Now, in some ways, that's helpful, isn't it? But in other ways, that's business being that. Like Amazon's right on it, right? Getting you to buy things. It's kind of the oral version of what you see when you go on to the internet. And of course, Amazon also, you probably, if you shop on Amazon, you probably have seen you'll get an email telling you, I see you were looking at this. You might want to purchase this or that or related things. Comes up on my email all the time for that. And you want to know something? It works. Because there have been sometimes it's coming, ooh, I do need that. I must buy that. It's kind of like, you know, how they used to, well, they still do it. You're buying groceries and you're in the line to check out and they have the quick sale things right there. You know, the impulse buys, the gum, the chocolate bars, maybe some other things, toys or something like that. And you go, oh, I should get that. Boom.
Yeah, but for years now, if you go and let's say you're browsing travel sites or something like that, all of a sudden you'll get all kinds of advertisements for travel.
Yeah. Well, this is just AI taking that over too. And I mean, there's lots of good things about AI. I have to admit, I'm a heavy user of AI.
If it's used as a tool,
yes, that's the key.
It's and businesses have been doing that for years. More automated tools are being used all the time. Like, I mean, good or bad, the fact that we're sitting here on YouTube is a development of an advancement in electronics, right?
Yeah.
So, that's, I mean, and I remember when I first started working in computers, I got a job as a programmer, and I was working in computers, and people kept saying, oh, when the home PCs came out, that, oh, it's going to take over the world and everybody's going to lose their job and all that other stuff. So,
and some people did.
Yeah.
But then it created a whole new series of jobs. Programmers, data entry people, all that kind of stuff. And I think AI will be the same way.
Kind of strange here. The chat, nobody's chatting. So, is everybody still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give them a minute. You know, did you see a squirrel?
No.
Lucey, say something. What? We're still online, so don't worry. They're thinking. Give them a chance. Okay. So anyways, it can assist with things that are mundane in your home too. I mean, we have a robo. It's not a robo, it's a MOVA or whatever. You know, the vacuuming system, the mopping system. It runs from AI. It figures out what your plan is of your house. You can tell it where you want to go, and it does all these things and figures out, you know, whether or not it should be mopping when it hits a carpet or not, vacuuming. That's a form of AI. And of course, if you saw CES lately, which is the Consumer Electronics Show that's in Las Vegas every year in January. They were featuring all kinds of AI-driven robots, which were kind of scary. In fact, there was something, you can find it on YouTube, some kind of Chinese production show on stage where they had robots that were doing all kinds of kung fu moves and stuff like this to the music. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I find the ones that, you know, the robot dogs and the robot people are kind of disturbing.
Yeah, that's true. Sherry says, sorry, I'm cooking while watching.
It's okay.
It's okay. We can't smell it. I hope it's good. Just want to make sure everybody was still here. But
yeah, I was just worried that the stream had ended and
yeah. Sometimes. Maybe I should work with Echo.
I use AI to create the competition quilt I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I've tried that too, and it's getting better at it. You just put in your colors, your fabrics. You can tell it what kind of design you're looking at, and it'll help you design the quilt. Yeah. So, yeah, and pattern writing is hard. So if an AI can make it easier, I'm all for that. It also, I mean, I wonder how the teachers are handling this in schools, because this has got to be a real pain in the butt. I guess the days of teaching kids how to write a proper essay and all that kind of stuff are gone, because I don't know how. You know, they need to do research.
Well,
they'll just ask AI.
They can't tell time on an analog clock anymore, so
no, that's true. That's something we're going to talk about.
So now they won't be able to write an essay.
Yeah, I don't know how teachers are coping with it. I'd really like to know, but I don't know anybody that's teaching anymore. They're all dead, or they ignore me because I'm retired. They don't want to talk to retired people. Makes them feel old, I guess. But it is a wealth of information at your fingertips. And I sometimes forget. Instead of going to Google, if I'm sitting upstairs watching TV and something comes up and I want to know, I go, I wonder what was the other day we want to find out. It was something pretty basic, but we were second guessing ourselves, so we had to check it.
I can't remember what it was either.
Something...
Oh no, it was UK.
Yeah. What's the capital of the UK? I said it was London.
Yeah, okay. And then I said, okay, which countries are part of the UK? I said, is Ireland part of the UK?
Yeah, Northern Ireland.
And it's Northern Ireland that's part of the UK, right? So,
but he had to see, he wouldn't believe me when I told him I'm not AI enough for him. He had to check with Alexa, and Alexa said what I said. But, you know, there's other things. Sometimes I hear something on a news program I'm watching or something. You know, what the heck is that? So I'll ask Alexa, because I don't want to get out of my chair and type it into something or pull out my phone. I just ask Alexa and I get an answer from it. Now, there's a caveat to this, and I'm sure most of you know this anyways. You have to remember that not everything the AI tells you is the absolute 100% the truth. You know, it skims the internet and finds what it can, and it's only as good as the information that's out there. So, I mean, it's pretty accurate, but, you know, people are using it for health now, diagnosis. And I saw a thing that said, beware of this. I forget the example they used, but somebody went in and said they had these symptoms, and the AI said, go immediately to it said, you need to have this drug right now, go to your pharmacy and get it. Well, luckily the pharmacist looked at it and go, what do you want this for? And you need a prescription for it anyways. And they said, no, you don't want this, because this will interact with your other drugs and kill you. But you see, AI told them to do that. There have been some AIs that have been reported as telling people who are in deep depression that they should just kill themselves. Now, I question the source I got that information from. I think I said earlier that there are some of these content creators that have been playing with AI, and they're doing a jailbreak on the AI. So they're taking out from them certain parameters that have been programmed in to say you're not to talk about that kind of stuff at all. So I suspect that that's what it is, because, well, I did ask Echo as if I was having a problem, and it never came up with killing myself as a solution. So, yeah. But I mean, for a kid, if it did come up with something like that or whatever, you know, kids are impressionable. Cheryl says it's not a pattern but artwork that I had custom printed and using it in my background. Yeah, I've done that too. Not on a quilt, but I've used it for other things. The music that's at the beginning of this before we come live, that's all AI generated. And I've generated some screenshots. If you've noticed my new one that says like and subscribe at the end of my videos now that I put in, that was completely generated by AI. I just went in and said, I wanted a splash screen that said like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and I want you to pick up on some of my interests. That's all I told it to do. Well, if you look at that closely, you will see there's quilting and 3D printing in it and other things. It's kind of scary how much it knows about me. But of course it does, because we're all trackable. Our habits are all trackable because it's done by whatever we're searching for at any given time. So yeah. But I don't think creating the graphics is necessarily a bad thing. It is if you're an artist and it's your life. Are we keeping you from someplace?
No. I just got a message, friend. I just looked at
Oh,
it.
AI is talking to you.
No. I guess they're all talking about what's going on in Puerto Vallarta. So
No. Fine. We've got friends in Puerto Vallarta with all that's going on there now. Yeah. Okay. Fine for diverting the whole conversation again. Bonnie says, I was looking
well,
for...
you were the one that asked me what I was looking at my watch for.
Hey, Echo, what would be the best way to get rid of Walter and have no one find the body? I think you should just chop him up with little pieces of with an electric knife and pop them in the microwave. Whatever. I have Echo turned off. Bonnie says, I was looking for a photo of a panel I had to make a quilt, and Google found the image and even suggested colors to use in the quilt. Yes, I use the AI in Google by just giving it a picture of something. Like, it's great for fabric. If you're looking for a certain fabric and you don't know the name of it or who has it, take a picture of it, throw it into Google. The AI will probably find it for you. So I mean, those are good things, right? I think they are. Palomino Girl says, I'm usually looking up is so and so still alive when I'm watching TV. Oh, is so and so alive when I'm watching TV? Okay, I get. Yeah, we do that too. Yeah, or how old they are. Dubrovka says, first song on your live is really good tune. I sing it every day. Okay. Yeah, you might want to try and make some of your own. It's free to do. Sono, go to Sono, SUNO, and you can do it. It's easy. Rachel says, my friend is an interviewer at a company. He says so many people are now clearly using things like ChatGPT to basically do their CVSs, and obvious when they've turned up to the interview. Oh yeah. The AI is writing things. That's why I go back to what I was saying about as an English teacher. I don't know how I would cope now with it. I'm glad I'm retired and I don't have to. Barb says, just curious, did you watch any of the Winter Olympics? Nope, don't like them.
Not very much.
No.
I've watched a teeny tiny bit, but not very much.
Cheryl says, I asked AI to make my photo slimmer and put me in Palermo, Sicily, going there in September. Oh, okay. So make your friends jealous by having AI create travel photos for places you've never been and make you look good on them and share them with them. Having a wonderful time on the French Riviera. And look, I've lost 50 pounds. I am beautiful. Make them jealous. And people do that. There is a whole AI series that I watched that comes from Dubai. It says it's Dubai. It's not. It's AI generated. But people are out on a square somewhere. Dubai's in the background. And they have this thing that comes down over their head and does their hair in seconds. Well, it's funny how somebody that has really curly and kinky hair, it suddenly comes out and it's beautifully straight and everything in a different color in under 30 seconds. it's AI generated. It's a company that makes this kind of AI stuff, and they're using it as a promotion for their product. And I've noticed lately on YouTube, there are these videos of these real hunky guys with their shirts off. And at first, when you see it, you go, whoa. And then you look at it a little closer and you start to realize, wait, that's not a real person. That is AI generated. So yeah, they can really fake everything for us. Oh, they're not there. Okay. Lucy says we have the UK, Great Britain, and the British Isles. We get confused.
Yeah, we were
Oh,
talking
okay.
about that yesterday,
Yeah.
about the UK, Great Britain, British Isles. But we were focused on what was part of the UK. So
Yeah, with it. So yeah, there's all these terms for it all. But London is the capital. I knew that. And the only reason it came up was because there was a British guy interviewing people on the street, Gen Z people, and he was asking those questions, and they were right in London, and they hadn't
have a clue.
They said London doesn't, or England doesn't have a capital. Or one said, and it was, well, he was asking them basic mathematics questions too, like what's 2 plus 2? 3?
Or what's 3 times 3?
Yeah, 3 times 3. I'm going to say 7.
16.
Yeah, like, ooh, sad. These are the people that are going to take over from us. Ooh, sad.
What's 15% of 100?
Yeah. Oh, I'm guessing. I don't know.
200?
200. Yeah. Basic math, people. So here's the question, though, that everybody seems to be upset with, because it's just like the Terminator movie, right? So I put it in the title. Will AI? I'm dyslexic. Is there a dog?
A1?
Oh, I love that sauce. I put that on everything. Whatever.
Stephen, did you say Suno?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, that's it. And that's how you spell it. Yep. Yeah, AI. Is it going to turn on us? And they're already talking about the fact that it is generative AI. And what they mean by generative AI is it picks on the information it has, and it learns from that information. And so eventually AI, well, they're already doing it.
Watch the Terminator.
Can program itself based on the information it has gleaned and stored out of it all. And then, of course, is it spying on us? Oh, yeah. Of course it is. It has been for years going on. I'll never forget, way back, I may have told this story before, but it's funny. There was this lady, when we first started Stephen and Walter Live, when we were doing it from the kitchen counter, we got talking about having an Alexa. I think we had just got one at the time. And this woman said she hated it. It was always listening to her and spying on her. So she took it and put it upstairs in her attic because she wasn't using that. Well, if you unplugged it, honey, it doesn't have any power going into it. I mean, yes, it is listening to you. But, and they tell us that it is not sending any information back to Google and to Meta or whatever, whoever the corporation that owns Google. Is it Meta, or is it, it used to be Alphabet or something. Anyways, they tell you, yeah, they don't. It is, though, now. They've stopped telling you that. It only sends back information to help improve its services. Yeah. What they mean by that is it's analyzing your profile as a consumer, so it can generate advertising directly to you. And if you've ever seen the movie Minority Report, that's the same thing. People walk down a mall, and as they're walking down a mall, there's all these big screens. They're pixel boards kind of a thing, and they read your eyes as you go by, and they immediately put up on the pixel board and call you by name and go, "Hi, Stephen, here's something I think you'll be really interested in." And they customize it. Well, apparently that's already happening in certain parts of the world. They do have pixel boards that when you walk up to them, they use their identification search thing, that every country's got now. And they're starting to direct things directly to you about it. And people are uptight about this. Well, I get it. But we can't go backwards. We just have to learn. This is where our governments have to come in. Our governments need to get on the bandwagon real quick and start controlling what AI and what companies can do with AI. But unfortunately, like everything, governments are always far behind when it comes to the technology and how it's used. Let's see. So my older brother, Nunny Known says, my older brother used Sono to write a song about my younger brother and his hobby farm. It was very funny. Yeah, I've written a few. I have one that's called It's All Fun and Games Until Someone Breaks a Hip, and it's about a nursing home. And it is actually quite funny. And I didn't really give it a lot of information to make that. Rachel says, saw one of the old charities. Loved the dark framed glasses you wore. Looked very suave. Saw one of the old charities.
Must have been old shows.
Old episodes or something.
Yeah.
What? I'm not suave now? I'm sophisticated and debonair. Yeah. Darcy says she likes the retro looking shirts. So there are retro pussies. Palomino Girl says, AI. Still find that acronym confusing because in farming, horse breeding, AI means artificial insemination. That's true. Don't get the two mixed up. Norina says, I joke that AI will die of boredom tracking me. Okay. And Darcy says, and our governments need to find a way to protect our water, Great Lakes, as AI takes over. Yeah, there's that whole thing about the cooling of their systems, because those supercomputers and that are water cooled, and they're saying also, we saw a documentary the other day where they're putting those great big huge
data centers
and they're run by AI. People are worried that they're going to make their hydro more expensive, and that because they're taking over the hydro grid in their areas and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a whole lot of problems with the AI. But how do we stop it? Well, I think the only thing we can do is lobby our governments to get in there now, not tomorrow, now, and start making laws and legislation and controlling this. Because you know what businesses are going to do? They're going to monopolize on all of this. And another group that's going to monopolize on all this, of course, are the scammers, and they already are. If you've had one of those calls about, you're going to be carried away by police or whatever, now they're very sophisticated. They used to, you knew as soon as you picked up the phone and heard the voice, within the first 2 seconds, you knew this was AI generated. Not anymore. They sound really good, and they can respond just like my Echo did too. Whereas before, they were basically pre-recorded messages with it. So, and for the older generation, people older than us who, they may have come into technology much later in life, they could get screwed. Well, some do. You see it all the time.
Well, there's not just older people. There are people that aren't too bright.
Well, yes, there are. Like Maddie Moron, but or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, it is something. But I think the bottom line is we can argue about this, we can yell about this, we can protest about it. The thing is, it's here. What we need to do is don't let it take us over. We take it over and we use it to our benefit, whatever that benefit will be. If it's designing you a graphic, if it's writing you a song, if it's developing a quilt program or something like that, we take control of it. And don't believe everything it tells us either. Be skeptical. Don't lose our skepticism. And we need to transfer what we know about this and our skepticism to the younger generations, because they're the ones that, for all the things that we think they're so very used to computer technology and everything in day and age because they grew up with it. They know what they're doing and the whole bit. They do not. They do not. They are babes in the woods. They need to be trained how to disseminate information and learn how, like, what's a reliable source, what's not a reliable source. We need to teach them to be skeptical about this stuff so they don't get sucked in. Well, if they still think that England doesn't have a capital and that 2 + 2 is 5, there might be a lot of work to be done. Well, we're coming to the end of our time here. Just pick up on a few of the last comments. Rachel says, oh, I got the death stare then. I'm not sure why. And Shadowwind says, have you ever watched a Person of Interest TV series? No, I know what you're talking about, but no, I've never really seen it, but I think it probably uses some AI technology in it too, as well. Anyways, yeah, food for thought. So, reminder, sewing with me on Wednesdays as always, links in the show notes. And there will be a link, if it's not already there, I'll put it up as soon as we're done here for tomorrow's live. If you can't make the live, my heart won't be broken. I know it's early in the morning for many of you, and you probably have other plans as well. And that's okay. It's an experiment. We'll see how it works. And it will be rebroadcast, though. So if you miss it in the live, you'll be able to see the rebroadcast, just like this. Okay? So how this works, too. Okay, everybody. So have a great week. And tune into the other videos we have this week, because without you, we have nothing. And if you have suggestions for things you'd like us to work on, show you, whatever, please let us know. Okay, have a